name is Alex and welcome to another L Word video. Today I'm going to be talking about the L Word Season 1 Episode 7. Now just before I get into this, like all my review videos, if you guys haven't watched the episode first and you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the episode first and then come back here because this video is going to be full of spoilers of Episode 7. With that being said, let's jump into this video. So there are two main storylines that I want to touch on this video, but just quickly I did want to talk about two smaller ones. Bet, gotta talk about Bet. Bet, my feelings for Bet are unknown, but I did feel bad for Bet this episode because she wants Tina back. She really wants Tina back, and Tina is engaged. She's getting married, and Bet didn't see that coming. Yeah, I did feel sorry for her. Made me sad. But yeah, from like an audience perspective, I was like expecting it, but it still made me sad. But quickly moving over to Micah. I think that's how I get it. That's how I pronounce his name, right? I think I said McKay last time. Micah. His storyline was rough to watch this episode as well. With his mum. Oof. That sucked. That really sucked. That was really rough to watch. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? It was just really rough to watch. I feel for him. And I definitely, oh God, I don't even know his love interest's name. I've forgotten it. I always forget his name. But I definitely liked him a lot more this episode. So, I mean, that was a good thing. But yeah, they're just like the two other stories that I wanted to touch on quickly, just to get my thoughts out there. But the two main storylines, where do I start? With Alice or with Finley? Let's start with Finley. Ooh, what a storyline. So her and Sophie, not Sophia. I got it right the first time. This was an episode. If you guys seen my review videos previously, you know I'm not like a big fan of Sophie, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan, and I love Finley. I am a huge fan of Finley. I had some feelings this episode. So Sophie's grandma fell down the stairs, I think. She had to have surgery, so she was in the hospital for like the majority of the episode. And it was kind of touching on Sophia's sort of, what's the right word? Maybe isolation from Danny, or like, I don't know, it's just like not feeling like Danny pays her any attention or sort of like considers her. So that was sort of the main focus this episode. And on the flip side to that, it showed Finley being really like caring and thoughtful and like, I don't know, just praising her whenever the opportunity came up. And Sophie obviously enjoyed that. I will say, even though I'm not here for them as a couple, to be honest, like there are plenty of other people that I ship Finley with before Sophie. But I will say, in saying that, I ship Sophie and Finley more than I ship Sophie and Danny, to be honest. But I think in part that's because I honestly can ship Finley with anyone, let's be real. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about it, you know? Like on the one hand, I'm like, I don't mind it, to be honest. But on the other hand, like, Sophie's annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I really don't. And it's doing my head in. I'd really like to know your thoughts. I know there's a few people that watch my videos or follow me on Twitter that sort of have the same views of Sophie as me. Like, they're not a huge fan. I'm very curious what you think of Sophie after this episode. Because I need some of your help. Like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling after this? I haven't watched the promo for next week's episode, so the season finale. I'm very curious how they're going to wrap it all up. I'm so curious. But anyway, jumping over to the other big story that I wanted to talk about is obviously Alice, Nat, and Gigi storyline. Oh, I knew it was coming. The demise of the throuple hurts all the same, even though I was expecting it, but it still hurts. So Alice was having a rough go this episode. Like, her show is like in the pooper. Gigi and Nat. Disappointing me. I just, so here's the thing. They got together, right? Gigi and Nat, they have issues. They're ex-girlfriends, or ex-wives, I should say. They have issues, clearly. And they're trying to work through that. But they're doing it all wrong if they genuinely want to be in a throuple. It frustrates me. So they got close this episode and they had sex just between them two, Gigi and Nat, without Alice. Well, Alice is like saying her show's nearly getting cancelled. They're all having sex. And I was like, okay. Alice, when she got home and found them in bed together, it didn't feel right to her. And I think it's fair. Like, they definitely need to develop ground rules and like an understanding of where everyone is at, you know? If it needs to be talked about where everyone's at. If they want to, you know, have sex with each other when not all of them are there, it needs to be talked about, you know? There needs to be ground rules in place. There needs to be communication. Clearly there was none of that. It was just a lot of assumptions. So Alice sort of like, it doesn't feel good. So she wanders off. Nat and Gigi are like, okay, we need to figure out what's happening. So they essentially like tell Alice to, well, Nat tells Alice to give him some space and Nat will call Alice back in a couple days once she's figured stuff out. The issue is Nat and Gigi decided to figure stuff out without Alice. When, like, let's be honest, Alice and Nat are in the relationship, like the primary relationship, and Gigi has entered after the fact. But, like, in any instance, all three of them need to figure it out together. It can't just be two of them figuring it out and then being like, okay, we're accepting you in. You can now come into this relationship. Like, that, it doesn't work like that. All three of them need to be communicating, and it just makes me so mad because, like, at the end of the episode, they were like, yes, we do actually want this throuple, you know? Nat wants both Alice and Gigi. She's, you know, said for a while she doesn't want to lose Alice in this whole situation. And I think Alice was thinking the same thing, you know? She's attracted to Gigi. She wants Gigi in the relationship, but she doesn't want to lose Nat because of it. They both said that, and Nat and Gigi are like, you know, we want this throuple to happen, but it just doesn't feel like it, right? Like, because if they genuinely wanted this relationship between all three of them, then it would have been a discussion between all three of them, you know? Oh, makes me mad. And I knew it was coming, but it still makes me mad. Like, why? We've got one episode left. And I don't know where this is going. I don't want it to end shitty. Like, I hate, like, shitty cliffhangers where you just feel depressed. You know, I really hate those cliffhangers because you have to wait a year and be like, oh, what's happening? Do they, you know, at least get some comfort in their life? But we shall see. Yeah, we shall see. Who knows how it's going to end. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about this episode. Yeah, I hope you guys liked this review video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Like I said before, let me know your thoughts on everything that's been happening. How are we feeling about this season? Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. But I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.